The value of great young players often lies between their overall potential and a lot of money. So with the rising talent of Jalen Johnson, the label untouchable has been used by his franchise to describe him in trade discussions. Today, we'll take a look into the situation surrounding this Atlanta Hawks prodigy and the surprising twist that almost saw Trae Young's departure from the San Antonio Spurs. Can the Hawks even afford to lose their star guard? Jalen Johnson's climb in the NBA has been eye-opening, especially in light of how quickly he rose to these levels following John Collins' move to Utah. His rise to the top of the race for this year's Most Improved Player award is a testament to his skill and the difference he's making on the floor. This young prodigy has demonstrated his tenacity and athleticism since taking on a more prominent role for the Hawks, making essential contributions on both ends of the court. His scoring ability has given the Hawks offense a new facet, most notably his ability to score at the rim, whether it's catching a lob or hammering home a putback dunk. Add this to his ability to collect rebounds and solid defensive play, and it's really no surprise the Hawks front office considers him untouchable. Looking at his earlier years in basketball, Jalen Johnson has been nothing short of intriguing. As a highly anticipated prospect fresh out of high school, Johnson caught the interest of both NBA scouts and major college basketball programs. His size, athleticism, and skill set made him a highly sought-after recruit and was picked up by Duke University after being ranked the number 13 overall prospect in the 2020 high school class. As a freshman, Johnson was Duke's highest-ranked player, and in his first game, the kid dropped 19 points and 19 rebounds. After such a big outing, he kept showcasing his ability for the games that followed. At 6'9", he had remarkable ball-handling skills and court vision, making him an extremely versatile player who could thrive in several positions. Johnson's advanced offensive arsenal let him effortlessly create shots for teammates or aggressively attack the rim himself. His ability to also step out and drain mid-range jumpers only expanded the mismatch opportunities for the young Blue Devil. But he isn't just an offensive weapon. He had become a force to be reckoned with on the other end of the court as well, thanks to his amazing defensive instincts, ability to stop passing lanes, and superb ability to defend the rim. In an unusual turn of events, however, Johnson would decide to forego the rest of his college career to prepare for the NBA draft, something that raised many questions amongst recruiters. Whilst leaving mid-season is most often frowned upon, the Wisconsin prodigy had done more than enough to earn a spot on an NBA roster, resulting in the Atlanta Hawks taking him with the 20th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Jalen Johnson was eager to begin his NBA journey, but unfortunately, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from the get-go. After being assigned to the G League for the majority of his first season, the youngster underwent a non-surgical procedure on his left knee to address a tendonitis issue. After a successful rehab, Johnson was raring to go in his second season and saw a lot more court time than his first year. While there were improvements, his averages were still far below his capabilities. Partly because he was still coming off rehabilitation, but mainly because he was still a second option behind John Collins to be paired with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. But the pieces started to move into place for the young Hawk, and John Collins was shipped off to the Utah Jazz. So, as sad as John Collins' departure was, it gave Jalen Johnson an opportunity to flourish. And boy is he flourishing. With every game, he shows he can fill the hole left by Collins and establish himself as an important player for the Hawks going forward. One of the most talked about trade rumors this season was the potential move of DeJounte Murray away from Atlanta. Something wasn't working with the Hawks' star backcourt, and with the emergence of Jalen Johnson, the front office was ready to explore their options. Murray was a sought-after target for many teams trying to strengthen their backcourt because of his reputation for excellence in defense and his ability to create plays. Rumors of possible trades involving Murray persisted throughout the season, with the Hawks allegedly considering offers from several teams, including the Lakers. But in the end, no deal came to pass. The conversations about Murray's future with the Hawks highlighted how difficult it is to negotiate an NBA deal. Granted, Murray is a great asset to the Hawks due to his skill and promise, not to mention the game-winning shots he was making night in and night out. But the Hawks were probably looking for a deal to meet their demands and provide them with some substantial chips in return. He's still a valuable member of the Hawks squad despite the collapsed trade negotiations, an invaluable asset on both ends of the court with his relentless defense and ability to create opportunities for the offense. Add this to his ongoing progress and development as a player, both of which point to the possibility that he can still play a significant role in the Hawks' long-term strategies and be a mentor for the younger developmental players like Johnson. Anyway, Murray's status as a member of the Hawks squad will be an interesting plot point to follow in the offseason. Meanwhile, a more shocking rumor rippled through the trade deadline when it was revealed that the Atlanta Hawks discussed dealing Trae Young to the San Antonio Spurs. Trae Young, often looked at as the cornerstone of the Hawks franchise, has represented the organization's image with his flair and explosive style of play. Characterized by his deft ball handling, accurate passing, and deadly three-point shooting, Trae has been a part of the new generation of stars since he was drafted in 2018. He was untouchable to Atlanta, or so we thought. There is no denying Young's brilliance, make no mistake, but the team's inability to compete consistently at the highest level has raised questions about possibly shuffling their core. Eyebrows were raised throughout the league at the prospect of dealing Young to the Spurs, especially since San Antonio is a team looked at as being in the middle of a rebuild, focusing on the future opposed to win now. To be honest though, a trade to Wemby pick and roll would be one of the most unguardable plays in the league. Ultimately, the trade conversations were a wake-up call for Young and the rest of the playing group. There needs to be changes if Atlanta was to be championship contenders, and the players will have to put their best foot forward if they want to remain a part of that vision. The trade talks may have ended up being just that, talk. The Hawks understood the importance of having a player of Young's caliber on the court, and any possible trade would have needed to yield a sizable return to be deemed worth it. One thing is sure as the Hawks continue to forge ahead, Trae Young will always be the team's face, as his talent, charm, and leadership will continue to shape the Hawks' identity both on and off the court. But the best progression for the Hawks this season has been the off-court and on-court chemistry between Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. Similar to what we saw in previous years between Young and Collins, Jalen Johnson has replaced the former as Young's lob partner and is even better. The fact that the Atlanta Hawks executive management regards Johnson as untouchable speaks volumes about his potential and significance for the team's future. In the modern NBA, his blend of size, athleticism, and skill set is quite rare and greatly sought after, making him an invaluable asset for the years ahead. In fact, the front staff of the Hawks see Johnson as more than just a gifted player. He has all the tools to become a two-way star. They've labeled him untouchable in trade talks and won't consider offers that might jeopardize his position on the squad. Instead, they're dedicated to nurturing his development, building their ideal team around him, and optimizing his influence on the court. Here's the little drama in their hands though. Planning to trade Trae Young while making Jalen Johnson untouchable gives the Hawks dynamics a new interesting dimension. Beyond their skills on the court, Young and Johnson have a close personal relationship that shows in their friendship and chemistry both on and off the court. The Hawks' success has been greatly attributed to their ability to balance each other's playing styles. That is, Young's playmaking and scoring skills perfectly balance Johnson's defensive grit and adaptability. In addition to being a potent on-court combination, their dynamic connection provides the Hawks with a solid base on which to grow in the future. So, given the complementary nature of Young and Johnson, some people would find the prospect of trading away Young, well, dumb. The relationship between Young and Johnson contributes greatly to the team's chemistry and success, even when trade talks may come up as, at the end of the day, the NBA is still a business. Anyway, the Hawks' dedication to fostering the bond between Young and Johnson highlights their assumption that the two will be team pillars for many years, even while they continue to make roster decisions. Hopefully, the Atlanta Hawks will keep it that way for a long time, and we'll see Jalen Johnson blossom into a star. If you like keeping up with basketball's young stars, then you'll love what we have in store for you. Join us next time as we look at another up-and-coming NBA Wonder Kid.